This is why buying 25 Quant now will make you rich. Throughout this video, I will be uncovering quite a few reasons as to why this time is the perfect time to be buying in on Quant and raising in your investment. This is not an opportunity you guys want to miss out on, and I very strongly urge you guys to, of course, do your own research before you invest into Quant. All I'm doing is just sharing my personal experiences and my personal thoughts as to why Quant is a very reliable project, especially based on the unique objective that Quant has in their project. More on that later in the video. Now, with that being said, let's just dive right into the token analysis. The Quant token is actually looking pretty stable as of right now and as of the last few days. This is actually pretty good considering that the value of Quant token mainly fluctuating above 101 and between 102. The market cap hasn't been too bad, with only a 0.63% decrease, given that the market cap is currently at $1.2 billion. Of course, additional to that, we can see that the volume is also not too bad, currently at $21 million, and it's experiencing a bit of a decrease of 8.29%. But yeah guys, the circulating supply is actually very important to look at here, because for the Quant token, we know that the total supply, as you guys can see over here, is a whopping 14.8 billion Quant tokens. Now, what's interesting and very important to look at is that the total supply is currently sitting at 14.8 billion, and out of that, the 12 billion Quant tokens that are part of the circulating supply actually rack up a total of 81% out of the total supply. What does this mean? Well, this means that majority of the people investing into the Quant token are actually holding on to it. No one's actually buying and selling as much as you may think for most cryptos. The Quant token is a very strong cryptocurrency that people actually believe in and have faith in because of their project ideology. They have a lot of goals and objectives that they do want to achieve in the coming days and months, and because of that project, a lot of people know that this valued token is not going to be sitting still at about 100 and will be increasing rapidly in the near future. Now, this is not a baseless statement, as we can head on over to the graph and check out for ourselves what the price for the Quant token really is. And you know, if you can just check out the days, the last 7 days actually, for the price of the Quant token, we can see that the support level is sitting at $100 quite comfortably, reaching a very high of $112, which is pretty good, and that was roughly between the 10th and 11th of November. And of course, between this entire time, the token has not dropped below $100. Now, what's more is that if you go back to the last month for the Quant token, we can actually check out that the value of the Quant token again stayed very comfortably above the $100 mark, and it was only very low just back in the beginning of November, or actually all the way in the beginning of November, around the 3rd and the 7th, where it kind of dropped below the $100 mark, roughly at about 96. But even after that, it rapidly went all the way back up to 108, and you know, it's been keeping on to that price margin consistently. So yeah, if you did not know much about the Quant token, I hope that analysis kind of helped you understand what it is that we're dealing with in terms of the raw currency. But you know, what's more important about the Quant token is actually their project and what the project has to offer. So for that, we will be looking at a couple of tweets here. And yeah, these tweets are pretty much from very reliable sources, as they promote and, you know, kind of dive into a lot of cryptocurrencies, and you know, check it out. They check out for themselves as to how reliable it is, how profitable it is, and you know, what the project has to offer. Because remember, these are not shitcoins, these are actual cryptocurrencies with a team behind it, with very clear objectives and goals behind them. And you know, the people that invest into this token, the entire community expects big things and big investments that can help grow this company, as well as help grow the profit margin of the majority of the investors. So yeah, for the first tweet over here, we can start off with constructiontrader.eth, or better known as C Traders on Twitter. And over here, this source actually shows us what the Overledger network really is. Now, if you guys are not aware of what the Overledger network is, well, simply put, it's a broad network that can allow the interconnectivity between multiple businesses, multiple companies of different platforms. So we're talking about banking platforms, we're also talking about like social media platforms and so on. And you know, the network is essentially supposed to allow better connectivity between these platforms, better ways to you know, use a currency, of course, to buy and sell different assets, and of course a lot more to it. I don't think we can even spend one entire video talking about what the Overledger network is, because it's such a broad topic and it's such a huge project that the QNT token is going to be a foundation of. So yeah, first of all, let's start off with this image, or actually no, let's start off with the tweet over here, which, you know, let's just talk about what it says. So here the tweet says that it's simplifying the Overledger interoperability framework. Overledger API facilitates cross-chain interoperability by allowing the apps to interact with multiple blockchains through a single interface. So checking out the image over here, it kind of breaks down the Overledger network into 6 main subcomponents. So first of all, we have the Overledger API gateway, and of course after that we have the messaging layer, the application layer, the transaction layer, and the filtering and ordering layer. And lastly, we also have the MD apps development subsection as well, that makes up the Overledger interoperability framework. Now breaking down each of them, as we can read through this, it says the Overledger API gateway actually facilitates cross-chain interoperability by allowing the apps to interact with multiple blockchains through a single interface. Now this is a very important part of the interoperability framework, because we need to understand what interoperability really means and why is it important that we can interconnect multiple blockchains. Well, firstly, we know that different blockchains actually use different forms of currencies. So for the Ethereum blockchain, we use Ethereum, and then, you know, for the Bitcoin, sorry, not Bitcoin, the Binance blockchain, we also use Binance tokens. Now, because we are working with 2 different blockchains and 2 different tokens, it does usually get a bit complicated to transfer funds in between and, you know, intercommunicate and exchange data between these different blockchains. So what it is that if the Overledger network framework was put into place, it would allow a third-party medium, or like a middleman medium, to allow the different blockchains to basically come into one combined blockchain, and then they would be using the QNT token to exchange funds and make transactions. And of course, additional to that, we have the MDAP, the apps development subsection, which is mainly the fact that because we have different companies and different franchises, they all kind of use different types of codes and different types of networking communications for their own apps. And the thing is, for different social media platform apps and as well banking apps, and then, you know, other tech apps, and then business finance apps, whatever, all of these companies, they do want to have a kind of universal way of intercommunicating between them. And what it is that the Overledger interoperability framework will allow them to have that medium to connect through. So yeah, this is very interesting to see, and, you know, there's going to be more information on this over on the website, so do make sure to check that out in your free time so that you have more of an understanding of what this really is. Now let's move on to the second tweet over here, which I think is very, very interesting, and, you know, it's like almost like a breaking news for the QNT holders and QNT investors, especially the new investors that kind of want to get into investing the QNT tokens, but they're not too sure about whether they should or not. So yeah, over here on the second tweet, we can see that SATP spotted in new BIS plus Bank of Korea CBDC paper regarding wholesale CBDs, particularly suited for permissioned, like we have been telling 1,000 times. Very exciting and very bullish for QNT and the adoption of DLT API gateways. And yeah, further detail for this news is actually over here in this image, and, you know, the highlighted part kind of summarizes what we need to look at. So yeah, the Bank of Korea plans to create a unified ledger for tokenized asset settlement. Specifically, the asset transfer mechanism predominantly relies on a common smart contract known as the bridge to transfer assets across different networks. A noteworthy example of the asset transfer mechanism is the Secure Asset Transfer Protocol standard, which has been actively researched and developed by the Internet Engineering Task Force. This standard is particularly well suited for permissioned ledgers. Furthermore, one of its features is to have a gateway application through which multiple distinct distributed ledgers are interconnected. Specific architectures and use cases have already been demonstrated. And yeah guys, this is like crazy news because we know that the interoperability feature is definitely going to be one of a kind, and as we can see here, for the different networks that we have, we want to be able to transfer assets in between them, and the Overledger network literally allows this to happen, that no other network or blockchain actually allows transfer of assets in between them. And that's only some of the news that we're going to be covering in today's video, and there's so much more for the QNT token that you guys should definitely check out for yourselves, and you'll understand why QNT is such a reliable and such a well sought out for token in the crypto market as of right now. Given how the price has been fluctuating upwards more than downwards, it's very easy to say and spot that the price of QNT will rise very quickly in the coming days. So literally all it's going to take is 25 quant to make you guys super rich, and I wouldn't want to miss out on the opportunity anytime soon. So make sure you guys invest in right now while the time is right, while the stock prices for QNT last, and especially while the price for QNT is low. But yeah guys, I think that will wrap it up for today's video on the QNT token. And of course, I always urge all my viewers to do your own research, because none of this is going to be financial advice, and this is just some experience of my own that I would like to share with you guys, some thoughts and some findings that I think are going to be beneficiary for all of you. So yeah, with that being said, I hope you have enjoyed today's video. Make sure to drop a like on the video, and comment down below on your thoughts on what else you guys would like to see on the channel. Of course, if you want more information on QNT, that will come in the next upcoming videos. But yeah, with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.